I transformed my C6 orange Corvette into a black Metallica Racing Livery. This is the front two quarter panels. I did happen to remove the two quarter panels to wrap here. That's really so I could get deep. There's a little spot between the front door and the rear part of the quarter panel that really shows quite a bit of orange, and I really wanted to cover that. If you had a black car, it really wouldn't matter, or if you're wrapping something similar to the color that the car was that you're wrapping. But I also had new headlights, so I had to take the bumper off to get to the headlights, and might as well just take the quarter panel off. If you want to know how to take the quarter panels off, I do have a separate video, either out or will come out shortly, on how I did that. Just kind of real quick basics, where the bolts are, that type of thing, and where the screws are. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. And as always, thanks for watching. Otherwise, let's move on to the wrapping. So I did kind of mash both quarter panels up on the sides for this video, and like usual, since I didn't really plan on putting this on YouTube, I really didn't get too close video for as far as the wrapping goes, and I forgot to push record on both sides when I actually glassed it out. But the front quarter panels do have a nice body line right there on the top as it kind of goes down, so it's pretty easy to glass out with Avery Dennison vinyl. Other vinyl would be similar, you probably just don't glass it out, but really you just kind of do that front side, and then you're able just to lock it in on that sharp edge there, as you can kind of see it in the video, and just pull the vinyl over and you're glassed out and you're ready to go. So now I just kind of move on to the brake vents, right? And so with Avery, you know, I kind of just work it on in, give it a kiss of heat to work it on in, and just cut a couple centimeters past where the vent starts, fold it in, and then just kind of squeegee the rest of it in, because it'll hold. Some vinyls maybe you have to make that cut a little sooner to kind of get the vinyl to kind of lay down without pulling back, but with Avery I knew it was going to hold, so I kind of went about 80% in before I even made the cut. It's a little safer that way. The tough part of the two little corner parts up along the vent, it's really tough to get the vinyl to stay there and get enough coverage if you don't cut it right, so don't be afraid to put a little inlay or overlay, just a little tiny one there, just to make sure that color stays pure. The bottom is really dirty on all these cars. You don't have to go that deep because the car sits so low, but I went ahead and went all the way to the edge. So I kind of really cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. But just kind of normal wrap procedure, just kind of wrap it under, cut it, make sure it's going to hold. normal wheel well where you just kind of squeegee the vinyl in and make sure you make a cut in the open area, just up underneath the quarter panel a little bit where the color won't be seen. As far as the headlights, since I had the headlights out, it's really easy just to trim it, give it a little kiss of heat, or just cold stretch it, just kind of around the edges a little bit. Cut a good, use your hand as a guide or your finger as a guide, and just cut a couple extra centimeters off. Kind of fold it all in, secure it with some heat to make sure it's down nice and tight, and you're ready to go. But the quarter panels are pretty easy. As far as the back edge, you know, again, I had it unhooked so I could kind of really get in there and get deep. You don't have to hit the quarter panels off to wrap them cleanly. It just helps you get a little deeper. And because I had an orange car and coming with black, I didn't want any of that orange to show because I knew people would come up closely and look at it because of all the Metallica stuff on it. But if you're just wrapping a Corvette to wrap it, not too concerned from people being 2 feet away all the time, don't take parts off the car. You know, if it shows a little color, it's not a big deal. It's my own personal opinion. But these aren't show cars. This isn't a show car. It's just for fun. Trimming along the inside of the quarter panel is a little different than some cars because the way the car was painted and the type of car that it is, because you look down on it because the car is so low. So I really kind of went deep there, didn't use knifeless tape, but kind of just sealed it and kind of had to hand cut it up against the crease, which again, you know, if you're not used to cutting, putting, you know, a knife on a car, it is a place where it really wouldn't hurt the car because it's barely painted. But just go light, take your time. But you can use knifeless tape, but because of my experience, and experience with a knife and knowing where the cut was, I wasn't too concerned about it.